Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Big Chief channel. Joining you today is myself, your host, as well as Big Chief over here. Today we have an interesting episode because we might have an interesting person that will be joining us up in the studio tonight. But before that happens, Big Chief and myself, we want to talk a little bit about music because I believe that music is something that we both are quite interested about, and I think we both have had experiences in the music scene. So before we have our guests to come on, we are just going to be talking a little bit about music before he comes on. And Big Chief, I believe that you're a big fan of music, right?
Yes, I am. But before that, I would like to how everybody. Hey,
How
welcome to
everyone?
Big
How
Chief Channel
everyone?
again. Yep.
Welcome in, and especially welcome to those of you who are transitioning from Facebook to YouTube. It is especially fun to see you here. Speaking of which, we do have our guest in the studio today. One quick moment. Well, if he is here, let's check if the connection is fine.
Yeah, he's the more appropriate person to talk about music.
Right. Hello, hello. Are you alright? Whoops. Seems like the connection is not that strong right now. So we'll bring him back in when the connection is better. So okay, so Big Chief, I believe that throughout your years on this planet, right, you have had multiple instances of being in the music scene, right?
Okay, lah, I had my fair share,
Hmm.
getting involved in concerts and having my own small band.
Ooh la la. How was
But
that like?
that's cool. But I'm definitely a music fan, and I love listening to music and fell in love with jazz, modern jazz.
Okay, is the modern jazz kind of style, yeah, and not the how about EDM stuff? No,
I
no
can
club
tolerate I
music.
can tolerate EDM, but that's not my full cup of tea. I won't like travel a mile
Right.
for EDM and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. What about rap? Is rap anything of your liking?
Actually, rap is a form of jazz.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, rap, reggae, and all these are forms of jazz. But it depends on. I can tolerate rap too, but then again, it's not my mainstream kind of
Right.
cup of tea.
Right. I believe it stems from like scat singing, right? The one shabba boo bap bap. You know those kind of
Yeah, how do it again?
shabba boo bap bap, dabba boo
Oh,
bap
you're
babe.
doing fantastically well, and you got a fair share of music too, right? And
Oh yeah, I do. Used to
and
be in the
I've heard
performing scene.
sometimes that you do some beatboxing and stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, that was back in the day. Back in my day.
No, let's entertain the viewers. Come on, give me some. Let's say turbo sound. Come on,
I don't know if
the
you can hear it.
roti man. All right, pretty good, eh?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
we have some
So, what do you talk about in
interesting.
music? What do you have in
Well,
mind?
what I had in mind was actually the music scene. Okay, since we have some difficulties on the technical end, right? What I wanted to talk about was actually uh, about musicians in general, because from my time in being in the music scene, I have collaborated with amazing artists, amazing artists. People who can play the drums blindfolded, can play, can just do amazing stuff, right? But a lot of them seem to have the very same issue is that they can come off as very toxic, right? Because they're very egoistic. And that is something that really baffles me because uh, it's like the rapping is nice, but once you get to know the person, is like a totally different, complete different thing than
What do you mean
you
by that?
expect it to be. Like for instance, like let's say for example you like Taylor Swift, right? Okay, on TV you see that, oh, she's hot or she's kind of nice, but then when once you let's say you're a musician and you get the opportunity to work with her, and all of a sudden she shouts at you and screams at you and why and like totally disrespects you, right? And that is a total like 180 of your perception of that person. And like it's just a break of reality, because you think that your reality is like this, whereas behind the scenes it's completely different.
It happens everywhere because people generally have got multiple profiles, and they, including businessmen and stuff like that. When you do business, they act differently. When they are out of their environment, business environment, they are, you know, a different person. So can we blame them? I don't know.
I guess
But to me, I do not judge. I mean, I think to make things very clear. Business,
Right.
business, friend is friend.
And I guess that maybe you kind of need to have that proudness, right? That sense of, you're proud of your work. And sometimes that overflows as, as an egoistic kind of part.
To me, ego works both ways. Without ego, you cannot go far.
Hmm.
You have to use your ego, but it depends on how much and how far you push your ego. Yeah,
Hmm.
and generally when we speak with we talk about the other person having this kind of ego and stuff like that. But generally, who are we to judge, right?
That's right. That's right. Oh well. And another
So
thing about music, right, is that in Malaysia, it's it's not very conducive, I must say it, because a lot of like Malaysian artists that grow up to be big often get shunned upon by our own Malaysian citizens, right? And in the end, they escape to the US. Good example of this would be I think that Nina, what's her name, Nina, or the one that sang. I don't know. I just can't think of the lady's name at the top of my head, but this one famous Malaysian artist, like
there's so
she,
many. There's so many.
yeah, I believe that she got like shunned upon by a lot of the locals by saying that she is just trying to act or something like that. So she just like moved to the US and never looked back. Yeah,
I think you're talking about Miss Nina, right?
yeah, Nina. Yeah.
She's got one big single, and forgot what the title is. But well, sometimes it doesn't work here, and doesn't mean that it cannot work anywhere else. So
Mm-hmm.
because the your personality may suit that culture and not this.
Fair
So
enough.
I think she did a good move by moving over there. So did the lady, people like Sheila Hamza. She did
Mm.
very big in she's very big in China now. Nobody talks about her here. Yeah?
Right,
But
right, right,
she won the China Idol and stuff like that. It's a big thing. And
right.
she's
That's
one of
true.
the hottest stars in China right now.
And she is quite. Her voice is she's like you don't expect her to actually speak such fluent Mandarin
Yeah,
and
because
sing it. Right?
our perception is that because Sheila Hamza still stick to a very good Muslim principles and values.
Right. Like
She
she's
still
performing with
put
the
on
tudong.
her tudong and stuff like that. But well, maybe that attracts people and creates a differentiating factor for her. So
Mm.
it works for her very well.
That's true. That's true.
So
That's true.
yeah, so what is right and what is wrong, you know? So we really can't tell. Like for
That's right.
example, Big Chief channel may be acceptable in Malaysia but not acceptable outside, or
Right.
vice versa, right? So we are trying to evolve. We got to do constant improvement. Right now, this what's happening is that we are trying to see if there's any possibility of us moving out of Malaysia, maybe starting off with the Southeast Asian region and stuff like
Right.
that. So, but back to your question of ego, we need to have a certain kind of ego or certain level of ego to reach there.
Mm-hmm.
You know? Does it mean that once we get there, we have to change our ego? You know, in Malaysian English, we call it action. You know,
Right.
so, or
Chief,
in
you
Malay, we
gotta
call
tone
it
down on the
sombong.
Malaysian stuff, the Malaysian references.
No,
Just in case you got the.
it is a fact. So,
Yeah.
you know, we have got to adapt to every local culture that we step ourselves in.
Right. So just to do a quick test again, MJP, are you there? We can't hear you. Hello, hello.
Maybe your background music is a little bit too loud.
I see. Let me turn that down then. Unfortunately, it seems that we still can't get him on at the moment. But oh well, let's carry on for now.
Yeah. So back to the subject, ego. Most of the artists that appears in front of us, they have to have a certain ego to probably shine or stuff like that.
Right,
But
that's
then,
fair.
yeah, after that, in their normal life, they get back to their normal self, and you see a different person.
Right, that's fair. That's fair. No, Big Chief, I believe that the audience has already heard about me talking about YouTube. Perhaps you could share, since you are kind of the star of the channel, a little bit about why the change is happening, and as well as what can the audience look forward to moving forward.
Generally, the change is happening because we want to reach out to a bigger audience, and you know, everybody knows that you know, YouTube has got a better monetization factor than Facebook, and we can try it there. So, you know, to all the viewers out there, can you please state your comments on whether you like YouTube or you prefer Facebook? We want to know from our viewers so
Mm-hmm.
that we can adapt to it. Well, right now we are just streaming on YouTube, but there might be a possibility of us streaming both. We are just getting used to one system and the other. Yep. So, yeah, to answer your question, it is to basically to reach more people. You know?
Right, fair enough, fair enough. And Leonard and the rest of you guys who are joining in, just want to wish you guys a warm welcome onto the channel as well. Roxanne as well as Patricia and Leonard, Andrew. Hey, you're here, what? Andrew. Okay, yeah, Leonard, you asked who's the star for today. The star for today actually is supposed to be a Kenyan rapper, but unfortunately, it seems due to technical difficulties, it's a little bit unfortunate that we can't get him to connect to our studio at the moment. So that's why we're just filling in for him. But since it is just our second episode on this YouTube channel, we are gonna just take it a little bit casual in the start. Maybe next week or so we'll have more interesting speakers coming in, right, Big Chief?
Yeah, definitely. We are constantly looking for interesting, exciting speakers who, because our values are actually knowledge and skills. So the more new knowledge we have, it's better off for our channels and for our viewers. Yeah. So
Awesome.
uh, yeah, that's what you're trying to achieve. Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. So I think that just about does it for today. I think because just to keep it short and simple, since uh, we are facing a little bit of difficulties in the connection part, so we're looking forward to see you guys tomorrow on the next episode. Any spoilers for that, Big Chief?
Well, just log in tomorrow.
All
Yeah.
right. So, without further ado, thank you everyone for joining in tonight. Unfortunately, it's going to be a short episode today, but we're looking forward to your constant support as well as through this transition period. We are forever grateful that you are here with us and looking forward to new viewers as well. So, thank you if you are new here and welcome in. This is Aaron as well as Big Chief signing off. How?
How?